Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. You see, the year is about to wrap up, 2023 is about to begin, and there's no more UFC fights. So I'm here scrambling, trying to find different content to make in the meantime while we gotta wait for this month of dark space. So if you guys have any ideas, leave in the comments below and I'll make sure to do some of them. But regardless of all that, there's plenty of time for predicting. That's right, in this video I'm going to be predicting next year's champion. What do I mean by that? Well, by this point next year, I'm going to predict who the champions will be in each weight class in the UFC. So without further ado, if you guys like this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. But first, a word from our sponsor. I have to read this book for school, but I hate reading. What do I do? Well, click the link in the description and join Audible. Audible lets you enjoy all your audio entertainment in one place. You'll always find the best of what you love or something new to discover. Audible offers an incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre, including Michael Bisping's autobiography, Quitters Never Win. Look at me, I'm learning without reading. Just go to audibletrial.com/JackWalter with 2 R's and get a 30-day free trial on me. You'll be getting a free trial and helping support the channel. That's www.audibletrial.com/JackWalter with 2 R's. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, first we're going to start with the women's division. I'm going to just run through this one real quick. You'll find out why in a second. First pick for strawweight is going to be the current strawweight champion, Zhang Weili. The thing about Zhang Weili is I feel like her chances are pretty high because, one, there isn't a #1 contender at strawweight right now, but I don't see anybody right now going after Zhang Weili unless they do like a Rose rematch. I don't see Rose coming back this year. I think Rose is going to be out for a long time. Zhang Weili, I think, beats all the women. Next up, Valentina Shevchenko, and still, obviously, we don't know what's going on with her. There is no clear-cut contender. I would assume if they get Grasso and Manon together and they fight, then I would assume that would be a #1 contender spot. And although I think Alexa Grasso could have some problems for Valentina Shevchenko, I think Valentina Shevchenko right now is just too good. I think the only threat really to her is if they do a Talia Santos rematch, which they revealed that they already have no intentions of doing an immediate rematch. Bantamweight, I'm going to do Amanda Nunes, same thing. I don't think I see anyone beating her, except I could see Irene Aldana beating her. Alright, next up we're going to do the flyweight division, men's flyweight. Obviously we know we have Brandon Moreno, Davison Figueiredo next month. The fourth fight, and likely the final fight with them unless something weird happens in this fight, for flyweight champion is going to be Brandon Moreno. Here's why. And look, just because I picked Brandon Moreno doesn't necessarily mean I think Davison is going to lose, and I'll explain why. I don't see Davison staying at flyweight for very long. I think he's eventually going to go up to bantamweight, and I think this is the year to do it. I think he has pushed his body to the max, and he had a very easy weight cut last year when he went up to flyweight, and it's going to be interesting if he could recreate that easy weight cut because a lot of people attribute that win to the easy weight cut. So I don't know who I think is going to win on January, but I think Davison and Brandon are definitely the top 2 of the division. I think the only threat is really Alexander Pantoja, where he looked very good in his last fight. Bantamweight division, obviously this division is stacked. We really don't even know who's going to get the next title shot. Probably Henry Cejudo is what everybody is saying in March. This one was a tough one for me to pick. I'm gonna pick Aljamain Sterling, and I'll explain why. I think Cejudo is not going to be Aljamain. I think right now Cejudo has had so much time off, and I think Aljamain is actually very underrated in his fighting skills. And yes, Cejudo is very good, and I could definitely see him beating Aljamain. But I think for this long of a layoff, and I mean, we've seen Aljamain do really crazy things to guys. I think Aljamain beats Cejudo, waits for about International Fight Week, maybe a little past, then fights Sean O'Malley, then dominates Sean O'Malley. And I think his only risk is really Corey Sandhagen, but Aljamain has obviously made it known that he does not want to fight more than like 2 times a year. So I think, obviously, I think his 2 title shots would be to Henry and Sean O'Malley. I think Corey Sandhagen would be a problem for Aljamain Sterling. I mean, he wasn't a problem in their first fight, but since then, Corey has improved tremendously. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if Corey becomes a problem for him in the future. But I'm going to pick Aljamain Sterling. He's going to stay the champ. Featherweight division, I mean, this one's a pretty simple one. I don't think anybody would disagree with this. I think Alexander Volkanovski, in my opinion, most likely he loses to Islam Makhachev, beats Yair or Josh Emmett, but Josh Emmett would be interesting with the wrestling to see how he incorporates that. And then he probably fights someone at the end of the year. I don't know who knows what the division will look like in that time. Maybe he fights Arnold Allen, but Arnold Allen is a threat to him as well. But I'm gonna pick Volk. I think Volk beats them all right now. Next up, 155, the division that everybody is talking about, lightweight. What's going on with lightweight? Currently, Islam Makhachev is the current champion. I mean, you got guys like Charles Oliveira. Dustin Poirier, I think, is definitely up there for someone that's going to fight for the title next year. However, this is how I see it going down. I think we see Islam absolutely dominate Volkanovski. I think we see Beneil fight somebody, and let's assume that Beneil wins, and Beneil and Islam goes down for the belt. I think a lot of people might be looking at me with raised eyebrows here, but I'm going with Beneil. I think Beneil really impressed me in his last performance with his takedown defense, and yes, Islam is such a strong wrestler. Beneil's groundwork is nothing to play around with, and he's shown that he has power in his hands. Put some respect on Beneil's name. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Beneil pulls off the upset here. He's also got the jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna go with Beneil. I think it's either gonna be Beneil or Islam. 170, interesting division. We already have a fight most likely that's gonna happen next. Usman Edwards 3. Some people saying, of course, Masvidal Edwards 3, which I have a video about, which I'll put in the corner. Unpopular opinion here, I picked Leon to win the last one. I'm gonna pick Leon to win again. I think Leon gets past Usman again. I think the fact that they're not in such high elevation favors Leon now. And then I think Khamzat gets the title shot, and then I think he dismantles Leon, assuming he can make weight. And I'm gonna say that Khamzat will be the champion by the end of 2023. 185 was by far the hardest one, or 205, which is next, but 185 was definitely one of the harder ones to guess. I mean, of course, you know, you got Alex Pereira. Does he beat Israel in the rematch? I mean, that fight is such a 50-50 fight, you don't even know. I think we see Alex Pereira fight Israel Adesanya around May, and I'm going to pick Pereira. An early prediction, I'm going to pick Pereira to win that fight. I think if you look at the odds of who's going to win that fight, I think you would have to pick Alex. I mean, he's got the knockout power, proven to beat Israel 3 times, can stand with Israel Adesanya easily, has the size advantage, and I mean, you just all of it stacks in Alex's favor. And I think after this, I think Israel will take a long extended break from MMA, maybe a year, and I think Alex will defend his belt, or Alex will either vacate the belt, and I think the champion by the end of 2023 will be Robert Whittaker. His fight with Paulo Costa got canceled. I think Robert Whittaker gets another fight easy, wins that, and at that point is just in line for the title shot, beats Alex Pereira. I think Whittaker probably takes him down, gets Alex tired, and then outstrikes him later in the rounds. I think Robert will be able to mix it up and be the better mixed martial artist in that fight, which is why I think he'll win. 205, I mean, right now there is literally no champion. I mean, there's nobody in there. Person I'm going to rule out, I don't think Yuri's coming back this year. I think if he is even ready by this year, it'll be a miracle, let alone fight. So I think Yuri is out of the question. I'm not going to include Yuri. Obviously, we have Jamal Hill over to Shera for the vacant light heavyweight title. And I've already said this in my Q&A, which you could watch on the channel where I talk about it. But early prediction, I'm going Glover. I think Glover has the grappling advantage. I think he's just going to out-grapple Jamal Hill early, maybe get a sub, or maybe out-grapple him, fatigue him, and finish him with strike. I don't see that going to the distance. I think Glover wins it by finish pretty easily. And we've seen Glover prove that he is an absolute dog. And I mean, who's next for the title shot? Jan Blachowicz, a guy that Glover beat easily. To say that Glover Teixeira will retain his title by the end of the year. In 2024, we're going to get the epic rematch finally against Yuri Prochazka and Glover Teixeira, assuming Glover does not retire. But it is possible that maybe a year from now it will be vacant if Glover does retire. Now, finally, we're going to be talking about the big boys. Everybody knows Francis Ngannou is the current heavyweight champion. Hasn't fought in a little less than a year. Everyone knows who they want Francis Ngannou to fight next, and that is Diego Sanchez. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, we know John Jones hopefully will come back this year. I mean, I'm sick and tired of the waiting. We need this, and I'm confident to say that John Jones Francis Ngannou will happen in the first quarter of 2023. I don't have any sources or anything like that. I'm just saying I think happens early. First American show, Las Vegas, T-Mobile in March, and I think John has proven that he is a superior wrestler. And I think although Francis Ngannou out-wrestled Cyril Gane in that last one, I think John Jones out-wrestles him, fatigues him early, and finishes him. I think John Jones makes Francis Ngannou look like an idiot, makes him look easy. Of course, you always have that question mark with the power of Francis, but I don't believe technically he could beat John Jones. And John Jones is the greatest of all time in my opinion, so I'm going to say that he retains his belt by the end of the year. I think he defends it maybe one more time, maybe another time. I mean, John Jones, when's the last time that John Jones was really active? So those are my 2023 champion predictions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see. Participate in the Q&A that comes out on Thursday. Ask the questions in the comments below right now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.